he explained to me that their old IT guy just left. He disappeared and just left them high and dry. They never heard from him again. Welcome back to LBTV. I told you in the last video I was going to be going back to some of my old content and tell you story times and just sort of chit chat and hanging out with you guys. So I'm gonna sort of be telling you about my transition from moving from my parents' house out here to Asheville and sort of how I got the job. It's a really wild story. To my believers, y'all are gonna be shouting through this whole video because it won't nobody but God. So I had to close my bedroom door. I know y'all was looking up in there. So you guys, let's start back when I graduated from college. So I graduated from college and I moved back home to my parents' house.
You what?
Those of you who don't know, I went and got my bachelor's degree in IT. Sort of a booming field right now, but it was still hard to find a job. So I was really stressed out about finding a job. Finally, I found a job. It really wasn't what I wanted to do. It was a little help desk job, and to be honest, it mostly consisted of changing people passwords all day, and I just wasn't trying to do that. I went to school for a lot more harder stuff. I won't finna stay there forever. For this job, I was driving approximately, with traffic, an hour and a half to work every day. Just because I needed experience. And those of you who are in the IT field or know the IT field, it's pretty much all about experience. They don't care if you have a 4-year degree. If somebody has 4 years of experience and you have a 4-year degree without experience, they're gonna pick the person with the 4 years of experience every time. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna bang it out at this $15 an hour job. I'm killing my car because I'm driving literally 100 miles per day. But I said, you know, this is what I gotta do to get out in my field. You know, this is what I gotta do. That it was more like a call center type of setup. They would call in with issues and we had to solve it over the phone type of thing, you know, technical support. What I hated about this job was there was no moving up. You can be the best help desk person they got, but you're going to be just that forever. While I was working for this job, I was constantly applying. Y'all, I was tearing Indeed Indeed, I know, was tired of me submitting my resume. I mean, I was applying. Like, I know I applied for over 300 something jobs in the time span that I was working there. And it's not like it was in vain, I'm not gonna lie. I got a lot of interviews, for most of which ended in, you don't have enough experience. Most of the interviews were pretty cruel. Most of my interviews were like 3 hours long, like huge interviews. Most of which I become one of the last candidates and they be like, but you don't have enough experience, so nah. And y'all, let me tell you, I know I'm sidetracking, but let me tell y'all what used to get on my nerves the most about jobs. I remember I was interviewing with one of the IT directors at one of the jobs that I was looking at getting. And I was looking at being the most entry-level IT person there, right? The most entry-level ever. So I'm in the interview with the director. He's over all IT, right? He turns to me and say, you know, I really wish I would have went and got my 4-year degree.
Nigga! Help me!
You wish you would have got your 4-year degree, but still denied me for the job? But you know what? That was okay, because God has something so much bigger planned for me. Okay? For my church folks, don't shout yet, because you ain't heard it yet. Here's where the testimony come in. I got to a point where I was so discouraged that I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just stop applying. I've decided that this is the best I can get right now. This help desk job, making $15 an hour. It's not too bad. I'm working at mom and dad's house because it's COVID-19 out here. I'm gonna bang it out for a year. I was just gonna climb the ladder, because you know what? it is what it is. Once I made that decision, I kid you not, a few days after, I get this email in my inbox. And this is my school email, I mind you. And it's the owner of this car dealership, a big car dealership in Western North Carolina. And he was like, I got your resume in Indeed. I wanted to, you know, if you could schedule some time to talk to me. And so that's when I pumped the brakes. I'm like, y'all, I just got out of school. I know for sure I didn't apply for an IT director's job. That's a big job. I know for sure I didn't have the balls to apply for a IT director's job. So I said, you know what the heck, I'ma call the guy back and see, you know, what he talking about. So we got on the phone, man, and we just talking. It wasn't even about IT stuff. We just started talking about life and everything. He's like, dude, I don't know what it is about you, but I like you. You know, I know you don't have a whole lot of experience at all, but let me talk to a few candidates and then I'll call you back and see, you know, where we at. So at this point, I'm thinking in my head, I've been through a lot of interviews. I'm sitting here like, well, that was a good run, you know, on to the next one. But God. So he did exactly that. He called me right back about a day later and he was like, I don't know what it is about you, but I really like you. I think it would be a huge challenge for you. I think you will really like it. When can you come up to Asheville to see the place? I can take this trip in 2 days. Yo, 2 days. 2 days, I got me a hotel room. Me and my parents, we went up there. So we got a hotel room, we went up there. Mind you, I've never been to Asheville. So this was like a little mini vacation for me. And yo, I low-key just fell in love with the city. It was just a feeling when we got there. I was like, yo, I really might be living in this city. You know, I was thinking that in my head, like this really might be your next move. So, you know, we chilled out in the city, we ate around, man. Loved the vibe of the city. It was very chill, very liberal. So that next morning, I was scheduled to meet with the owner of the company. So I met him, man. He gave me the rundown, y'all. It was a big job. So we got to talking. They have 7 locations that I would be the IT director of. In the middle of our conversation, he gets a call that their servers are down and that they're in a disaster. He explained to me that their old IT guy just left. He disappeared and just left them high and dry. They never heard from him again. Servers are down, people can't buy cars and all of this stuff. It's just a whole big ordeal. So during my interview, I had to go work on a server that day. That was God in itself. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna show that employer that you know what you're doing. So we went down there and I got his server up and running. Yo, it was the biggest thing ever. And it was like, duh, of course you got the job. At this point, I had to think in my head, like, I have to pick up my whole life and move. Mind y'all, I'm a minister of music at the time. I have a whole life here. He told me, he looked me straight in my eye and said, how quickly can you move to Asheville? How quickly? Like, we need you like tomorrow. And I'm like, you know what? I need to be courteous, you know, and give my other job at least 2 weeks because, you know, if this don't work out, I need to be able to crawl back to my other job just in case, you know, things don't work out. Then we got ready to negotiate pay, okay? For my church people, this is where you shout. And he gave me a figure. I'm not gonna disclose how much I make because that's none of y'all business. But he gave me a figure and I was like, you know, I did the math and I'm like, you know what, that's not really, it's livable, but for my expenses, it's not enough. I had just bought my dream car. I just bought a 2020 Impala and I had a car payment and I was like, you know what, you know, this may not be enough. He walks out of our little interview, walks out in the hallway, gets on his phone. He stays out there for about a good 5 minutes. He comes back in the office and said, look, we're gonna give you this pay and we're gonna give you an allowance to pay your car payment every month. At this point, I couldn't say no. At this point, I knew I had to pick up my life and move it to Asheville. So needless to say, I got things straight and I moved up here, I took the job. Very stressful job, but very fulfilling. I've now been in this job for coming up on about 3 months, you know, so a lot of things change in there and like things are going great. If I could take anything from this story, I would definitely say, one, never look too low. Don't look too low. For me, I think I was looking too low. The jobs that I was applying for were entry-level jobs and things like that, but God said you were looking too low. And remember, just when you about to give up, when you just turn it over to Jesus, all right, I'm gonna try not to preach it here, to my other people, when you turn it over to the universe, he'll work it out, man. Gave me more than I could even ask for, honestly. I mean, it's the perfect job. It fits me like a glove. I work on my own schedule, sort of thing. I pretty much do me, and I love that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that story. Hope it encouraged somebody. Hope it touched some people, my church people. I hope you got a good shout out of it. Thank you guys for watching. More story times to come. Please tune in. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another YouTube video.